welcome to the Utah Puck Report. This is your Captain's Log edition, and we're going to get into some stuff. We're going to do a quick, let's preview what's going on. I know some of you saw that I nailed the score of the last game with the Winnipeg Jets with the 3-2 win to get us to the 7th consecutive win for the Utah Mammoth. And I don't know, can I get lucky again tonight? Can I be smart again twice in a row? My wife would say no, but we'll see what you think. Tonight, the Utah Mammoth take on the Edmonton Oilers. 2 Stanley Cup finals in a row. Makes you think that they should be the better team going into this, but I'll also tell you that there is that Stanley Cup hangover, right? These guys have played a ton of games. They're not doing great. The Mammoth come into the contest 8-2-0. Obvious 7 wins in a row, which has been amazing. And a lot of fun for us fans and a lot of nail-biting in some of those games. The Oilers are coming in 4-4-2. They only have 10 points in the standings. Utah has 16. Connor McDavid with 1 goal and 11 assists for 1 and 11. And then Draisaitl's got 7 goals and 4 assists. So those are their top 2. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is right behind him with 10 points. But that just brings it in that brings it into question is how much of a hangover are the Oilers going to have from their past 2 Stanley Cup championship appearances, and how long is that hangover going to last? When do they kick in and become the Edmonton Oilers that we know they're going to be? Utah's been doing a lot of things right. Schmaltz, no surprise that he's got 7 goals, 9 assists for 16 points. Keller with 4 and 8 for 12. And Cooley, as everybody knows, has 7 goals, 4 assists for 11 points. And there's been a lot of good things that have been going on. We're getting contributions from all the lines. The lines are starting to show their identity. You're starting to see that the Hayton, Keller, and Schmaltz line definitely comes in, and they're showing you that confidence and that creativity. And you've got the patience of Keller on the back, like just playing quarterback all the time, always looking for that open pass. He's got that fake shot that I wish he'd shoot a little bit more, just like I said last year. But, I mean, their line is dominating. And just when you think the pressure's off, they send out line 2 with Peterka, Cooley, and Gunther. And, man, those guys are killing it. Cooley, the NHL's 2nd star this week. And you just see a lot of things changing over the last few games. We'll get into it a little bit here. Utah's power play. Remember last week when we did the captain's log, their power play was basically the worst in the league. There was one team that had a worse power play than theirs. They were at 12%. They're currently at 22%, so they're up to 14th in the league. Edmonton's power play, 9 of 29, so they're in 4th in the NHL. Penalty kill. The penalty kill's been big for Utah. It's still it's 22nd in the NHL. At 73%, they've killed 9. They've been scored on 9 of 33. And Edmonton has killed 5 of 26 at 80%. So they've given up 5 goals on 26 penalties. Pretty good. You'd expect maybe a little bit more out of that line. The problem I'm having right now is the lack of discipline that the Utah Mammoth are showing sometimes. They have 106 penalty minutes in 10 games. That's 24th in the NHL. Where the Edmonton Oilers are coming in, they have 54 penalty minutes in the last 10 games. That's 1st in the NHL. So special teams is going to be a big, big thing to talk about tonight. And, it just gets into that. You're getting contributions from everybody, but can we get people to stop getting those penalties? And some of them have been bad, and they've been at bad times. But the Utah defense has been chipping in a ton. In fact, they have 4 goals in the last 4 games, and that's big. And Sergachev talks on a lot of that right now. Let's hear from Sergey after the morning skate.
Sergey, when it comes to the blue line getting involved offensively, you're one of the players who has gone on the score sheet in recent games. What's developing out of the D-Corps' ability to get on the score sheet, help with the scoring, find depth scoring this season?
I think it starts with forwards. They're using us a lot more the last couple of games, and it shows that we get more possession, we get more shots through, we create more chances. So it's on forwards to find us.
When it comes to what you guys want to accomplish in this game with your game, what is the team's focus going into this contest against the Oilers?
It's give up less goals. Defend, and then offense will create. We got the tools, but it's just defending and playing fast in the neutral zone, not turning it over. And last game we had problems I think in the first period we were turning over a little too much in the neutral zone. Obviously tonight we don't want to do that.
What are you seeing from the commitment from the entire group to limiting shots? You guys are limiting some of the fewest shots against in the NHL right now.
I mean, it's great to have Ian Cole, acting as a second goalie. So he blocks 7-8 shots a game. It's great. But overall from the group, it's just commitment to playing defense. Obviously defending is hard and it's a craft. But if you commit to it, you see the results, and guys are doing that.
What's the next step with this penalty kill, and what do you want to continue to see out of that group?
It's just not giving up goals. Obviously last game was tough because we couldn't clear the puck and couldn't change. But it's just quick changes, get fresh guys out there, and block shots. I guess. Positionally, I think we're fine. It's just at some point somebody's got a block shot.
Yeah, funny. One of the things Sergy mentions there is Ian Cole being the second goalie. Last year, he led the NHL in blocks, and currently leading the NHL in blocks with 26 block shots in 10 games. So you're getting the contribution from the defense. Like I said, the last 4 games, they've gotten a goal, and you're starting to see what we talked about at the beginning of the year as far as what do the Utah Mammoth need to do? Well, they need to create chemistry between the lines. They need each line to have their own identity. And you're starting to see that. You're definitely seeing it with that Peterka, Cooley, Gunther line. You're definitely seeing it with Keller, Hayton, and Schmaltz. But what we saw last game was Krause, McBain, and Carconi pitching in. And they're always pitching in, don't get me wrong. I think their line as a physical line, as an agitator line, I think they filled that role well. They took advantage of a line change opportunity against the Winnipeg Jets and got a goal, which is great for Karks. We love to see that guy participate, love to see him score. We're super glad that he's still currently a Utah Mammoth. And then you got to see, Yamamoto pitching in. And he's been in and out of the lineup, and they replaced him with Liam O'Brien. And it's hard to say because you put O'Brien in, and he definitely brings a different impact to the game. But you put Yamamoto in, and that guy just has that motor that keeps running, and he also creates a lot of opportunities. So we got a big test coming up tonight for the Utah Mammoth. But they've already answered the call on what people thought would be the biggest tests of the year. They took Colorado on in Colorado and beat them. They took Winnipeg on in Winnipeg and beat them. So I'm not going to be surprised if this comes out. I think this has a little more activity than the last game. I'm going to do my Jay Stradamus, and I'm going to pick 5-2 Mammoth final score. And I'm going to say Utah picks up that 8th win in a row. There was a chance to talk to Coach Bear after the morning skate. Let's see what he has to say about what's been going on. I know he also addresses some Connor Ingram talk here, and let's just hear from Coach Bear.
Well, it's fun to obviously wrap up this road trip the way things have gone, but just in terms of the opponent tonight, what do you see over there on the other side, and how your team's going to match up?
Yeah, they're a really good team. Obviously, they went in the Stanley Cup final last 2 years, and we know they have obviously a really elite player. But for us, we did that on that stretch, focusing a lot of our game and not thinking so much about our opponent and doing everything we have to do to get better, to improve, to focusing on our game. So we won't change our approach.
What can you say about, especially last game, but the defense getting more involved in the offense and helping generate more than what we've seen, I guess, maybe to start the year? Yeah,
I think the approach did not change. I think the effectiveness changed or improve, I could say, but we didn't change our mindset. We want to possess the puck. We want our D to be active. We want our D to skate with the puck, support the offense. So like every other team in the league.
How much does JJ Peterka help this group coming in? And he seems to got off to a great start.
Yeah, absolutely. His speed, his skill, and the chemistry brings on our team. If you look at our 4 lines right now, they have an identity, they have a way to play. That's the way we want it. I think we have a little bit of everything throughout the lineup, and JJ with his line bring a lot of speed, and they move the puck really well. They see each other on the ice, so that's what he brings.
He's a smart player as well, isn't he? Like I think that complements that line right.
Absolutely, and give him a lot of credit. We work a lot on him, with his playouts without the puck, or his play away from the puck, and he improved a lot. And he is really receptive to coaching, and from his battle level, then his detail defensively, and getting on the right side of the puck. You look at the way, he stripped pucks on the track and stuff like that. He's really engaged.
Apologize if this question catches you a little off guard, but the two teams made a trade a few weeks ago, and the Oilers got a guy that you know pretty well in Connor Ingram. And I just wonder, when he was at his best for the organization, and that's probably going back to Arizona, but what was he? What kind of goaltender was he?
Well, first, he's a great person. He's a really good person. He has a IQ, his hockey sense, his read of the game, his feel of the game is off the chart. So that's what it really separated. He has the ability, obviously. He's an NHL goalie. For us, he was really good at it. But his read is really what separated him.
And he's obviously been able to maybe persevere through a few things too. And what does that say about him?
Well, that's what we're really proud of him, for him, and of him, in the sense of he's battled through some adversity, and now see him back healthy and playing again. It's pretty cool, and I'm sure he will make his way.
I don't think a lot of people saw Nick Schmaltz leading the league in scoring at this point. What has he brought to you this season, and what have you seen out of his game?
I will say, for the last 5 years, Schmaltz, his hockey sense, his IQ, his skill level, his detail in his game is really good. So, I'm not saying I was expecting him leading the league, but I know how good of a player he is, and I'm not surprised of him having success.
And how does he help? Like, he's a little older, he's 29, I think. How does he help some of the younger guys on your team? Is he kind of a leader by example?
Oh, yeah. If you want to know what's going on in our team, that's the guy. Yeah. You go see Schmaltz, he knows what's going on. He has a really good read of people, really good read of his teammate. He has no enemy. He's by everybody.
Andre, the Oilers this year have used McDavid and Draisaitl together roughly half the time and apart the other half. How does that change things for you as a coach? Do you really have to change the way you approach things when they're together?
Well, first of all, they have a good lineup, period. They have a lot of good players. But obviously, when those two guys play together, they have a special chemistry. So I think you need to do it by committee. First of all, they're so dominant, they can extend their shift. They can, so you cannot say, okay, those guys will play again, because the length of their shift and stuff like that, you need to have comedy. You have more than one unit who can play against those guys, and everybody has to be aware at any time. And now the NHL, you don't have the last change, there will be icing, there will be different things, so everybody will have to chip in at some point and play against them.
So if they're apart, though, do you need almost 3 lines because of the way they can extend their shift?
You need a good team. That's for sure. That's you have no choice.
Any lineup changes tonight?
Yeah, O'Brien's in for Yami.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Okay, it's funny. You heard one of the reporters bring it up. Like, how do you handle taking on Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl when they're on the same line as opposed to when they're on different lines? And I think we're going to see a lot of McDavid versus Logan Cooley. I think Cooley's really stepped his game up as being a line 2 center this year. You've heard me talk before about. Yeah, I think he's great scoring goals, and I think you're seeing, we all knew that offensive side of his game was there, but how about the defensive side? How about the 200-foot game? And we're definitely seeing a more mature Logan Cooley. So when McDavid hits the ice, I expect to see Cooley hit the ice. I also expect to see Sergy hit the ice, so that they'll have that 1-2 combination with one of our most solid forwards and obviously our best second-line defense or second-line center. So, but with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Connor McDavid, and Andrew Giappani on that first line, it does create a lot of challenges, especially when you don't have last change. So it'll be interesting to see how Bear handles that. It's a huge test tonight for the Utah Mammoth at the Edmonton Oilers, and it doesn't get easier because they come home for one game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and then they go on the road to see our good friends Doan and Kesselring in Buffalo on November 4th, and I know a lot of people are going to be watching that game, and the Doan-Hers are going to be excited to see that one. So exciting game tonight. I think it's going to be a 5-3 or 5-2 win for the Mammoth. I could be wrong. Put your guess on the score. I've got t-shirts and stickers and all kinds of stuff coming. and I'm gonna start keeping score. People that get like the most, whoever's closest. I'm not doing. We're not doing, Wheel of Fortune or whoever goes over or the Price is Right. We're just going to be like, whoever gets the most right, I'm going to start sending t-shirts and swag, and we're going to start doing lots of giveaways. So if you have a guess tonight on what you think the final score is going to be, and it doesn't matter if you don't think the Mammoth are going to win, we love you still, we get it. But start putting your scores down, start putting your guesses down on this post, and let's see who's right. There's some swag on the line for you. So I'm excited to watch the game tonight. I'm sure you're excited to watch the game tonight, and we'll check in with you tomorrow as we're talking about how it's a 5-3 win for the Utah Mammoth over the Edmonton Oilers. And that is the Utah Puck Report.